Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing great today. Okay, so I have a very, very interesting video that I want to share with us. A lot of people who know about the media establishment in America know the name Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck is a very accomplished media personality. He worked with Fox News, and the guy is okay. The guy is up there when it comes to media. And now Glenn Beck recently came out in the open and admitted what so many families are struggling with today. They feel somehow awkward about sharing it in the open. You're going to hear things that will break your heart. But at the same time, these things that you're about to hear will also prepare you psychologically.
I had a different understanding about how my life is about to change, and I'm glad to say it only lasted a night. But I had we've had suicidal ideation in my family with my children, and it went past an idea on Monday night. And my world was about to change. The good news is my child is healthy, and I don't think any permanent damage, and safe in a hospital. And we'll leave it at that. The reason why I tell you this is I know I'm not alone. She was in a children's hospital. And in this children's hospital, there were 3 kids. She's just turned 17. She was the oldest on the floor. And they are treating children for suicide at the age of 8. Something is going on, and I believe I know what it is. It's what's being taught in schools, how our schools are behaving, how our children are so lost. They're attacking each other unlike anything I've ever seen. Sex is just no big deal when you and I both know it is a very big deal.
His 17-year-old attempted suicide, ended up in the hospital. And because he just couldn't tell the whole story, he says, let's leave it there. The good news is the child did not die. But you can feel the crushing in his spirit. You can tell how devastated this guy is. This is what is going on. And he says where this is all coming from is what they are teaching in our schools. There was a time I used to be alone when I told people about what they were doing to kids at school, because it wasn't very popular then. It hadn't gone so mainstream. So I was isolated, I and a few other people. Today, everywhere you turn, you see the level of confusion, of satanic intrusion and invasion of the privacy. This is why sex means nothing to the kids anymore. This is why confusion is everywhere. How do you go to a children's hospital and have 8-year-olds being treated, 8 being treated for suicide? How? Like, if you were told this years ago, would you even believe that it's possible? It's happening now. There are even kids younger than 8 who are being treated for suicide because the devil is in town.
In my lifetime, childhood, and I've always said this is a joke, but I think it's actually kind of true. the rest of your life is just trying to recover from childhood. And in little things, it doesn't even have to be a bad thing. Like my mom used to always say, anybody want gum? And we didn't have a lot of money. And so she would take the Wrigley spearmint gum and she would cut it in half and she'd give half of it to my sister and half of it with me. So now I always have 3 either cubes or sticks of gum. Always. I don't need 3. I just have so overcompensated and I've done that my whole life, and we all have that one way or another, something that we're trying to, that it just marked us. Imagine the marks that are being left on our children today. And it is intentional. And it is coming from school and social media. TikTok, Instagram, they are the worst. They are the worst. Not Instagram. It's what's the other one? It's the one I don't have. The kids nowadays, they have Snapchat. Snapchat and TikTok, the worst. Get your kids off of them. Takeaway, if you haven't given your kids a phone yet, mine needed them when they turned, 15, because they had to go to school, and they had to have a phone. They had to have devices. They should have pulled them from the school at that point. Just said, nope, you know what, you're not going. But I didn't. And they've changed because of social media. It is dangerous, and it is killing our kids.
And they've changed because of social media. It is killing our kids. Social media. He mentioned TikTok. He mentioned Instagram, then said Snapchat. But I will include Instagram as well. I have a kid, I think it was my nephew, who told me how that an 8-year-old boy who was given a phone, I think at the age of 4 or 5, came in contact with a very satanic, horrible predator online on Instagram. And that demon began to groom this child, and that was how that child became gay. And it was happening quietly, because when they start grooming children, they do it so privately, because when you have a device, as a child has a device, he's living in a totally different world altogether. It's like just taking off and going into a different world. And there's so much privacy because the parents are busy doing so many other things. So the child is just there locked in with their devices. So how do you know when predators are preying on your children? Social media, all kinds of satanic, demonic entities appearing as humans are online, coercing our children, brainwashing them, damaging them, destroying and demoralizing our children, corrupting them with all manner of corruptions. This is what is going on. Social media, it's not just TikTok and Snapchat. TikTok just happens to be at the top of the food chain, because I don't know how they did it. They did it in such a way that it's just for kids. It's just for children. They feel so comfortable in that TikTok world. They feel like fish in the water when they come into that TikTok world. That ecosystem is just so compatible with children. But then look what is being fed them from there, and the Snapchat and the rest of them. Look what is being fed them. And we sit back and just relax and let it go, because parents are not paying as much attention to this danger, this emergency, as they should. See what he's saying now? The kids needed phones at 15. They had to have the phone, so he got the phones for them. If he has his way, he will walk back. He will take back everything he did that time when he went and gave them those phones. It is our duty as parents. I know parents who boast about the fact that they bought phones for their kids at the age of 3, 4, even iPad. What is a 3-4 child doing with phones and iPads? Or you just use it to play, animations for them or play them some. But no, you leave it for them. It's their own with their name written on it. They carry it and they navigate through these horrible pathways of hell all by themselves without any guidance. You let your children go through a path that even adults fear to go through. And you expect they will come back and be normal. That's impossible. Parental oversight is lacking. If we don't when we should, we're going to end up as broke as Glenn Beck today. Because when you understand how much pain he's carrying in his heart. Let's go to the next clip.